Today is going to be all about spotlighting. In spotlighting and in crafting, it is having one area that is colored and the rest of the area is not colored, for better wording there. So let me show you what we use. Very vanilla cardstock. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece that was cut in half, and then that half was cut in, well, it was scored in half so that I've got a regular invitation size card. Another piece of very vanilla cardstock that is 4 inches by 1.5 inches, and then a piece of early espresso cardstock that's 4 1/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches. So using just a little bit of snail, just a tiny bit of snail, hardly any at all, putting the one piece of very vanilla cardstock that's going to be my art piece on top of what's going to be the card. I'm using early espresso stamp ink and the stamp set is the soon to be retired Elements of Style, and using the really big stamp that's in there. So I'm going to ink it up with the early espresso ink. You can do this with a smaller stamp too and just do a little piece of it. Looks really cool no matter what you do. So experiment with it and have some fun. I'm going to lay the stamp down and I'm going to just kind of wiggle it so that I get around those edges of my art piece as well as on the other one. Now don't worry about it because I do put a different color around it, so if I miss just on these little edges, can you see where it didn't stamp on there? But that's okay because I'm going to use that early espresso piece to frame it and no one will ever know. So how easy was that to take off? Since it hardly had any snail on it, I took it off, and then you color the art piece. Well, I already colored one for you because I didn't want you to have to hang out with me the entire time while I colored it. But I colored it using a blender pen. Love these things. They come 3 in a package, and there's a pen on each side for the coloring. I used primrose petals, yellow, greens, blues, and just had some fun really coloring it up. When you're done with that, you go ahead and we're going to frame it with that early espresso piece. Good amount of snail on there, and setting it right in there. Now it's framed, popping it up with a dimensional, and you can see how it goes right on there, and no one's going to know that I had little pieces that weren't stamped really well. See how nicely that'll work? So you go ahead and you embellish and you do everything else you want with your card. You end up with a really cool looking piece with that spotlighting. So that's how you do spotlighting, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me.